Hello. Hello, how are you doing? I'm going to talk to you today about this legal case that I was involved in. This legal case in Virginia called malicious prosecution. Whatever that is, okay? It concerns a civil case. Um, Now, this happened, the hearing was December the 8th. And here it is in a nutshell. In a nutshell, the neighbor EMS was kicking balls. Somebody in her house was kicking balls in my yard. Been doing this for about a year and a half. And one day I just got tired of it, called the police, and she sued me for malicious prosecution. That's just the gist of it. She hired this lawyer named Ryan Spetz. Now, all this happened in about May. I hired a lawyer named Kent Benninger. Now, this happened all in about May. I hired my lawyer in about May. And I would say I was his client for about one day. From then on, he never worked for me. He always worked for the opposition. And I'm going to explain that. Ryan Spetz, with some law firm, Gordon and Howlett, etc. in Chesterfield. He never had a good case. So I guess the only way to win is to lie. And that's what he did. The plaintiff, M. Smith, never did appear. She never did come to the hearing, which was December the 8th. Now, what she did was get her daughter, who's in her 30s, to masquerade as her. In other words, a false identity within the court. And some man who I guess is her husband, he pretended that he was the husband of the daughter, which he wasn't. He was the stepfather. So the plaintiff, Smith, never did show up. She never did appear. It was all part of a conspiracy by Ryan Spetz to deceive the court. Now, like I said, my lawyer, I was only his client for about 24 hours. The rest of the time, he just worked for the opposition. Every time, he had 3 opportunities to dismiss the case. I gave him some critical information in May. He could have dismissed the case then because it was critical information. He ignored that. In court, I told him as soon as that girl walked in, that was not the plaintiff. When she swore under oath that she was the plaintiff, she was actually her daughter, I told my lawyer again, I said that it's her daughter, that is not the plaintiff. He dismissed that. So he had those 2 opportunities in court to dismiss the lawsuit, but he didn't. Now, everybody perjured themselves. Everybody, Ryan Spetz, all of them perjured themselves. Her daughter, the man, everybody perjured themselves. Everything that I told my lawyer in confidence, which is what you're going to do if you have a lawyer, he told Ryan Spetz. Every piece of information I gave him, he gave to Ryan Spetz, because Ryan Spetz quoted me in court. Ryan Spetz had documentation that I gave my attorney in court. Okay, I was the only one who was doing research. I went to the magistrate's office to get a copy of my own report. I couldn't, but Benninger could, and he didn't. I went to the police department to get a transcript of my call. I couldn't, but Benninger could, but he didn't. He evidently told Ryan Spetz I did. And so Ryan Spetz did all that information because, look, some lawyers are just too dumb, stupid, and lazy to do any type of research. So Benninger has always been working for the opposition. And like I said, the plaintiff never did come to court. I think the judge wanted to believe the narrative that I called 911 on a pregnant woman. And that was not the case. I called the non-emergency police. The daughter was pregnant, but she delivered in November or December. She had nothing to do with the case at all. Okay, she didn't even answer the door. The plaintiff answered the door. But the judge wanted to believe the narrative that I called 911 on the pregnant person, which I didn't. Okay, so after the case was over, my attorney, Kent Benninger, I sent him several emails, and I told him that was not the plaintiff, that was the daughter, and he still dismissed it, which told me he was working for the opposition. That's what that told me. And what I'm hoping is that, what I'm asking you is, don't hire Ryan Spetz. Don't ever hire him, because he can't even tell the truth to a court. He can't even tell the truth to a judge. The only way he won this case is by the plaintiff disguising herself as someone else and committing fraud against the court. I'm hoping that he will be charged with deceiving the court, withholding evidence, because the judge asked him, where's the other side of the arrest warrant? He pretended he didn't know what the judge was saying. He withheld information and evidence from the judge. Contempt of court. He lied to the judge. So I hope you don't ever hire him to do anything. I hope the plaintiff, Smith, will be charged with failure to appear. I hope her daughter and that man will be charged with contempt of court and perjury. And I'll keep you posted if that happens. Now, my lawyer was part of the conspiracy, obviously was part of the conspiracy. I didn't understand it until after the court case was over, because there's a lot of information that Spetz said in the court he only could have gotten from my lawyer. Okay? So, you know what? Don't trust him. Don't hire him for anything, particularly if you're a police officer. Okay? I hope you never hire him to defend you, because if I can't trust him, if he betrayed me, and I'm just an ordinary person, what if he betrays the police officer? I mean, it would be really bad if a police officer got killed from somebody in the streets, all because the lawyer betrayed him. He's a liar, and he's a criminal. Spetz is a liar. Spetz is a liar, and he's a criminal. Kent Benninger, he's a liar. And I hope he be found, I hope both of those lawyers be found guilty of contempt of court, conspiracy to defraud the court. I hope both of them. It's no point in me calling the Virginia State Bar, because they don't care. But I hope both of them get stripped of their law license for committing this fraud against the court. It's never been done in Virginia to have somebody disguise themselves, the plaintiff disguise him or herself. It's never been done. So I'm asking you, what is your opinion? Have a nice day.